All right, cool. So my name is Nico, and I'll be going through or introducing a different way of dealing with 3D graphics in After Effects, similar to kind of what we did with tracking, where we looked at putting something in three-dimensional space. This is working with three-dimensional objects as well as scenes, characters, and the like. And there's a plugin that allows you to do it. Natively, After Effects can handle 3D, but this is a software or plugin that enables it to be happening a lot better, and it works a lot nicer. You'll see that here in a second. So let me get it started. So I just have a solid, which I need something to put the effect on, so that's what that is. And the effect is called Element. Drag and drop. And immediately in the effect controls, you'll see, kind of looks a little nifty. You get the scene set up, and when you go into here, this is when you really get to see what the software looks like. So here's all quick rundown is just like a viewer right here, your layer scene information here, materials down below. This I want to say is like your element editor as far as like the specifics of the models. Here's all my models. So online, like if you find models that are in a variety of different formats, OBJ is usually the one I always go for. You can just add them to your kind of collection. I just have a folder with all of it. So let's pick something that's fun. So this is like Star Wars stuff. So we get this 3D Starfighter. Yeah. So this is a space fighter. Sorry, I almost said Starfighter.
It's a space.
It says space fighter.
No, it's for.
Maybe they can't do that. Maybe they.
BB unit.
Yeah, they can't. It can't be exact. Darth Saber, like they can't use the whole thing. Yeah. So, yeah, it's a little interesting. But the idea with this is it brings in, and you're gonna, Brad, you correct me at any point because I don't know the correct terminology for this, but it brings everything in usually untextured. So when you bring it in, usually because this stuff is already baked in. If I went to something like soccer ball is not the right thing to go to. Nope, no favorites. Oh. Here we go. All right, so there's a bunch of stuff, and we added in. So as I said earlier, this is the layer panel. So we have each of our. This kind of makes it. This streamlines the 3D process. I should start by saying. So we have our three main components of this model here. So if we were to turn each of them off, you can see kind of what it's broken up into, and this is by the designer of whoever modeled this in 3D. But what that allows us to do is independently change or alter the material. So by clicking on just one of the things, so the body, you have presets, and it just comes with a couple ones, but I have like some of the packs because I worked somewhere that they...
On your nipple.
There you go. So here's a bunch of shaders, and it's basically just what they say. So yeah, let's make a brick-bodied space fighter. So there you go. So basically, literally just like lays it right on top. You can click and drag even, and then from there you get to make all your changes to your. Yeah, there's all kinds of good stuff. So we have material type, which is physical shader versus standard shader. Which can I show orb after? Because I know physical shaders. Cool. All right, so that's the next thing. But physical shader has to do with like. You know how like on a wall, like a brick wall is not a great example, but it kind of is. So in between there's like the mortar that holds it all together, and there's kind of like divots in that. Instead of actually having the divots in the model and having it be a little more complex, they would just bake it physically with this kind of shader so it looks like it has it. It doesn't really look right on this guy, but maybe if we change it to something else to look better. Yeah, not really, but you kind of get the idea with that. You can change it kind of however you want, make it look custom, and as well as just going down here, this is all the mapping basic settings as far as like shininess, refraction, illumination, the color of it, and yeah, so there's a whole bunch of stuff to go over with all this stuff. But basically, if you just click a lot, eventually it looks better. So that's what I've been working on. But yeah, so once we have the model, cool. We can't really do anything with it. There's no animating it in here. But this is just how you get it set up. So if you were just bringing elements in, just like that, we have TIE fighters like that, or space fighters, sorry. Yeah, so element also breaks it up by group. So whatever's on our first group in our scene setup here, you'll notice this little tab that gives us 1 through 5, and that's how we set the corresponding group to the corresponding element layer. And what I mean by that is if I were to take group 1, which has, like I said, space fighter, and go into that, I can turn just that one off and kind of manage the scene from without going into the scene setup window every time because it's a little time consuming. But other things you can do with this, there's literally so much. So it works kind of like a particle emitter a little bit, where you can create duplicate particles within the group. So duplicating this space fighter, so that right now there's 19 of them on top of each other at a single point. But if I change this to, what are these? Someone call something out.
3D grid.
3D grid. Now
Oh
we've
my
got a
God.
3D grid.
It's a mega space fighter now.
Yeah, it's super cool. But we can't, and the other thing is, so you'll notice like if I try and click and drag or try and look around how I can in here, where this is literally just a left click and drag, in here you can't. So you wonder, oh, why can't I do that? Like I want to look around. There's a couple different ways you can do it. One, you don't have a camera. So if you set up a camera, whatever settings, then use your camera tool, which is C, so this guy right here. So each of these is just an independent control for the unified camera tool. So just by clicking and dragging, you'll see we can move around our 3D guy like this, and this is a grid right now. So instead, let's change it to, what's really cool is you can do like 3D objects or specific, like almost masking. There's a way to link it. So if I set this to a 3D object, it could replicate the shape of that. Yeah, exactly. So like the Black Panther end credits, like you remember like the panther on like the black sand, like everything was made of sand. Like that's kind of how they did that, as far as my understanding is. I can't do it.
Come on.
If you-
Come on.
See it. Real time.
I would
What
love
a
to.
demo is this?
All right, so here we'll just have one. But also the other thing is this is weird because it's a space fighter. But like if you took it to, I'm trying to think of something.
Laser sword.
Yeah, I have a bunch of stuff, a bunch of random. Oh, this one's really weird. Organic ones. This one's trippy.
Ooh, organic stuff. I like it. It's
Yeah.
squishies in there.
Organic stuff's
These
about
come,
to be.
this is from the Via Co-Pilot pack, right?
Yeah, this is the motion pack, or sorry, the motion design pack, and then I also have
$200.
Hmm?
You paid $200.
well, this was given to me. All of this was given to me. Yeah, I worked at Fox Sports, and like I didn't need it at all, but they just were like, here, take this, and I was like, okay, like.
I won't
Yeah.
argue.
Fine.
You know, like on top of that, like this shader pack with like all the specifics costs a butt ton on top of that. So I have a bunch of unnecessary ones. But then I really like the environment ones. So it comes with like these preset ones, which is just like I want to change how the lighting kind of looks to the scene. So if I had an HDR of a set and I wanted to create a 3D object that would look in the space, I could take a 3D object and make it look like this, spread out across like a 360. And do that, and then but these are the ones that I was given with it, which is basically just like 2K, 4K versions that look a little bit higher quality for, yeah. So and they're free. A lot of things are free. So here's the one. So we have this kind of organic shape. No, so it's not. Nothing is animated. It's plain as it comes in. But this is where the group thing comes in. It's really cool. So if I go on group 1, and I have my whatever blob this is, and then I go into my blob folder here. This should be called blobs. I don't know why it's not. Organic. So then we'll take a different blob. Let's go 17? 17 looks great.
Oh, yeah.
So 17 instead, so right now you'll notice it's in a group folder, and this is where it's like simplified from other programs. If you just like drag it out of it in the same way, then it becomes its own layer, and you can put it on group 2. So now we got group 1, group 2. Don't need the space fighter. Drag out. Just gonna delete the folder. So we just have it on 1 and 2 now. So what this means is we got 1. We can't see 2 unless we scale it up and stuff, but instead of doing that, I just want to skip ahead using the groups now. Of course, we can do crazy stuff where we make it all kinds of shapes and make weird conglomerate kind of ideas, but so that's the one behind it, I think. Yeah, so then here's where it gets trippy. So you go to animation engine, enable that, and we're just going to go, the start group is 1, end group is 2, and then it's just going to animate into that shape. But so this doesn't look that good because of the fact that the smoothness is, so like you got to change this stuff, and so hold on, let me fix it.
Just make the starting group 2 and the
Yeah, try go
Or if I make the group 2 thing bigger, which is particle look, particle size. Why can't I see you? It's weird. Can't see group 2. But either way, it'll animate into it. So if I set the animation, oh wait, here we go. I want to change the animation style. So it's like radial, random maybe? It might just be because it's like too simple of a shape, but we can go into something else instead. So instead of, but animation engine is animating between one group to the next. So if you had an object, for instance, if you made me, then you had me with like limbs off, and I animated from one to the other, the animation would look really good because it's like an automated process of animating between the two groups. This is my main takeaway from it. And you can also like try and simulate water and fluids with it, which is really cool. So my biggest thing that I've used this for is creating 3D text, which is really useful in After Effects. So, well, before we do this, I guess we'll use the, we're using the, it's like twist and, oh, it's within the group, that's what it was. All right, so within particle group, we have the particle look, which has the deform, which then has taper, twist, bend, yeah, it has all kinds of crazy stuff. So if you enable it, you can start doing, damn you. Group 1, deform, or wait, particle look, deform, there we go. Yeah. So, all right, so we have taper, which does something like this. It's all just kind of weird and also curves with it. Big fan of twist. Twist kind of does what you'd expect. You can kind of twists on whatever the axes kind of are. Or then there's phase. Yeah, so no, I got you. I was literally just about to do it. Okay, so we'll go phase and twist.
It's a continuously updated 3D object. Yeah, so the layer that this is doing. Is it its own render engine?
No, it utilizes the GPU within After Effects to use it. So this is just like kind of weird stuff you can make.
Yeah, exactly. So what, can you switch out to like ray trace to some of the 4D engine still render?
Yeah, we can try.
It doesn't change the look at all. I'm thinking it's external. Yeah. So let's try switching over this thing. Yeah,
I just
try
took off
changing any of the like the non-linears you just did. The form.
Bend.
Yeah, okay.
Still
I
works.
think it's external.
Yeah, I think it's based on how hot my computer is, so I'm gonna say that.
That plug-in external and pipe in.
Yeah, so this is all kinds of organic stuff. And then if you want to interact with it and start animating it, this is what I always do. I'll create a group null. So you just create it. It gives you a null. You can just affect this, and this becomes now your everything. Yeah, you can move it, you can rotate, you can scale it. That's how I do all my animating. And then the other thing I wanted to show you was text. So if you want to park post, make one of these guys.
I like it with this graphic.
Yeah, this is gonna be awesome. Oh, don't worry, we can. Well, before we do this, so in order to do park post, you turn it off.
Yeah. Okay.
We go into our layer,
Okay.
go to our custom layers, go to custom text and masks, path layer 1, park post.
Cool.
Now we go into scene setup. This took me like 4 hours to figure out. I'm not even kidding you. You're like ready? Then you have to hit extrude,
Oh, okay.
and then it gives you a 3D version of it.
Cool.
And that's what, like, yeah, I did the same thing when I figured. I was like, oh my god.
Doubled and everything?
Yeah, so it has like, so it takes whatever font you bring in and it applies that to the 3D, so you don't have to make 3D letters anymore. And I was like, oh. So, and it's updating. So like if I go into, this should update. It's supposed to do it.
Updating?
Maybe it's because it's Cinema 4D.
Okay. Broke it. 3D is easy to break, guys.
And I wonder what I did. Scale, opacity, source. I don't know why it wouldn't be working. Oh wait.
Same group to make it a new
So yeah, so you got to make either a new group or turn off the other ones. So my guess would be I would probably see it now. No,
We're going to group 1, 2, 6.
two things are on the same group maybe. So we'll change this to 3. Let's see, group 3.
Ah,
There it goes. Okay, so there's that one.
Third
And then
time's a charm.
3rd time's charm, and then again, and then that's when you get to do stuff like, you know, make crazy park post, and then scale this guy.
Love it. Yes.
Let's scale it like this.
Can we make that into the Park Post logo?
Let's see why not. So then you can just start making stuff, and then you get this is what I was trying to make. So if you go, that's why you keep this layer, is the original. So then you can go back in, and if you just want to change the font, it'll update immediately. Super amazing. So if I want it to be, that's square. Steel tongs. That's favorite. Yeah. So I'd pick a font, and then yeah. So that's really cool. It's one of my. And then you can animate it somehow if you. So if we wanted to animate, so you can see how it gets a little hectic at times when you start looking. I know. I'm just reading everything to make sure. Okay. All right. But yeah, so that's the idea with this. And then again, you can go back in, and this is where this gets really cool. You get whoa, and then you go into bevels. So there's also presets, and there's physical bevels that are just built in. So.
It's the future now, baby.
Caution, future vision.
Yeah, caution. I want caution.
That's
Yeah.
not messing around.
So then you have just like the preset, but all these presets are just a bunch of configurations within here that you just export. So if I wanted to go into the actual letter here, I would go down. Here's my shiny light, my shiny, and my chrome. And I can adjust each of these, you know, based on whatever I want it to look like, whatever, however I want to change it. Color. I mentioned the environments, so like the actual lighting that it's receiving. So if we use these guys.
Those are real time, so it must be environmental, like environment map. So it's like an HDR fade. So cool.
Yeah, it's basically, so it takes a picture like this and wraps it 3D, and then just, yeah, it projects the light. And you can make adjustments if you want it brighter, darker sort of stuff. It's really amazing. And then next thing I gotta show you is this thing real quick. So, oh, well then also you can do all the same stuff that we did with part posts before, and then it also will work with lights. Tell me I'm wrong. Yeah. So it updates automatically with lighting, which is pretty crazy. If you.
Yeah, it's like.
Yeah, we're already at 50%. I'm just gonna.
Oh my god.
Even that bad. Yeah, it's like 2 minutes ago. Yeah, it's like.
It's like the 24 thing. You know how it sounds like that. What?
He always says 24 hours.
Yeah, the only reason I know is my dad used to watch it with me over, and I would.
All right, cool. So, yeah, you can create all kinds of crazy animations just with the replicator effects that are built in to each group, but animating between is another thing that's really cool with text. I don't think there's really anything that amazing with this. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to show you is the multi-object. So if we turn all these off, grab something that's built with a bunch of parts, so like how these are grouped with like 3 things, like you want one with like a ton. I have a DeLorean somewhere. Nope. Do I have any cars? Nope.
Oh my god.
Halloween.
Yeah, can we do skull?
I need something with like multiple parts. So here we go. So this is a UFO that I found online, and then what happened? There it is. Okay. So let's scale this guy up. So this is just like a model I found online that I needed to make like a UFO abduction type deal, which would look pretty good to begin with. But then all I did was I took it, went down to my settings here. I have a bunch of different options, and then I just went through and picked a bunch of materials for each of them. So let's make it. We'll make the. I'm pretty sure I did. Let's do a little different. We'll go like a gold rim with like a clean. That's a little too shiny. We can just turn the shininess. Uh,
In writing?
why is that so shiny? Speculating. There we go.
No, this is Lifeline.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
This
Alright,
is
so
the
then-
new exterior.
So if I went through and then took all my materials and
Wait a minute,
made it
so
look
just show me
good.
something real quick. Under metal, just use that clean metal flats, because I'm just so the blurred reflections. You just put that on something up there. Something we can see. Yeah, and just pan around that. You change the environment. Oh wow. Okay. Cool. Interesting.
yeah, it's built in blurred, built in everything. It's just physically based. So there you go. So now we have our hinky dinky UFO. Ta-da!
Park post.
Oh, yeah, it's on one.
It's on one.
So you gotta maintain the whole one thing. Update, update, update. No, doesn't like me still.
Oh wait, no, it's thinking down there.
Oh shoot! And I made it think harder because I put that. Ah! This happens a lot.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
We're getting. Where's the beach ball? Where is it? Give us the beach ball. Where is it? Come on. I know that this says. Oh, it doesn't sound responsive.
Interesting.
Wow.
Yet.
I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah, it means it's beyond.
It means it's beyond help. Yeah. So if as soon as I do this, it's gonna do it.
Does the plugin stay open when you plug that?
No, it's built in completely. It relies on. Can't do it externally, unfortunately. What's going on here?
Yeah.
Whole computer's just like.
Not the one you actually. Not your whole computer.
Yeah, clock's still going. Are we just? But like I can move. That's why I'm confused. Like everything. So.
But after that,
Oh, here we go. Force quit. Let's go force quit real quick. It'll take me about half a second to get back into it.
you do the options command this week.
Put it down
It
this way.
just looks like an alien instead of this needle. Who knows? 3D text is real good and stuff. It's cool but expensive. Steal from Nico.
Steal from
Don't touch too many buttons.
No,
Those
3D
machines.
text is very, very easy. Oh, I forgot to show. Dang it! I forgot the one thing. All right, I gotta bring it back up. New. Nineteen twenty by 1080. Oh no, 1920 by 817.
Yeah.
Widescreen for yeah. It was for a shot of or something else. Look at this for E3D. Any questions by the way so far with 3D and this thing? I had to watch a lot of tutorials to understand this.
And so you said you can grab models in OBJ format.
Yeah.
The other formats that it plays with.
I don't know. We can double check right. I want to say it's right in here. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, so it just goes right in here. We got E3D objects. Mostly, I
3D or OBJ. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, it looks like it converts
it
the
once it's
OBJs
open.
into
Yeah, so if I took the stuff that I have for the class that I'm in for you, I bet we could probably get the DeLorean. Where's the DeLorean? Where is it?
V-Ray.
There it is. Alright, so we got,
So you have the OBJs and
yeah, let's just, I wonder if I took the whole thing if it would be able to get it.
Yes, it is. And then drop them
Alright, let's see if that worked. So now that I brought that in, it should show up here. If it did it right. Oh.
It'll let you.
Okay.
Yeah, there it is. Blank view.
Yay! And you. Perfect.
So that GMC brush chrome on it.
I don't understand.
Such a practical.
Never mind. Dunner.
Nice.
Cool. So we have a
Got
awesome.
some normals issues, I
Maybe. What made you say that?
think.
All right. So now I create. So if you have something crazy like this, where you're working and you're trying to animate the car, yeah, it's really cool. This is my favorite part about it. So it's called multi object. It's within, where'd it go? Particle load. Yeah, multi object. So it basically enables breaking the entire thing up and then just animating from that. So it takes all the individual, so I can explode everything in the same scale, or I can make everything random scale so it doesn't go together, or I can do like everything. So this is how you would make it like look like it's exploding, or if it's breaking into something, you can, crazy things like that. Also displace is kind of like, so like those like Rolex commercials where the watch like and like comes together, like that's how they do it. They use like a Y displace, and they just go like here to here and go 0 and go stuff like that. So like it's kind of the idea. But it's just using the thing that's already pre-built and then breaking it up, which is brilliant. Stop. That's there. Nope. So that's multi-object, and that automatically just like takes whatever it is. Yeah, it's amazing. Just if you want to make it throw up everywhere, you can do all kinds of. Then you can twist it. Then you can bend it. You can do really ridiculous stuff to it. But that's kind of the idea with that. Yeah, so that was that. And any questions on that? Anything? Yeah, this is kind of this is what plugins get into in After Effects, because you can't do this normally without it. Another big one that I have that I'm a big fan of is Red Giant, and this one actually. Yeah, Red Giant plug. Also, so one plugin that like is free and Video Copilot also makes it is called FX Console. And if you click on a layer and you want to apply an effect, instead of coming all the way here, typing it out, finding it, dragging, or double clicking, you can just select your layer, hit you change whatever the keystroke is, but mine's shift backslash, and I get this little window where I can just type. So I can just go Red Giant, and it tells me all the effects. It's actually RG. Yeah, so it's super nice. And you have take a screenshot, you have open gallery, you have export, you have settings, and then this opens up their website if you want to look at their website. So this thing's awesome. So I do this, and then I'm going to go particular is a really good one. So it also has, again, the designer thing I think is a trend. But this is a particle emitter, and it's super crazy. The presets are awesome. It's basically everything you would ever need for this kind of stuff. So if you want fireworks, and these are just presets. So all this is just a system that is made up by using this interface here to systematically go through here. So the master system has all of the base foundation, and you can build on top of it by making other systems to kind of make the extra tails, the burst in the middle, to build it. Then you can take a preset and then go into it and start changing. But instead of, for instance, if you don't want to go into these settings and change them automatically, so there's presets for everything. So different types of graphs, there's these things called blocks that are just like presets of every single possible configuration of everything. And also it comes with a lot of pre-built OBJs, which are the 3D objects. So all this stuff, we could change the shape. So the particle right now is just this little dot. But if we changed it to, my favorite's a sprite. But these are all just like presets. So cloudlets, like little softer dots. Sprite colorize, which is a sprite. Which a sprite is there a better word? Like how do I define a sprite? Just a second. Okay, so that's what that is. So here's a bunch of small images with alphas. And yeah, so if you take one, it would replace it, kind of. Can't really see because of the color, but this is kind of the idea. This is how you would build, any kind of particle system you would need through fireworks or leaves falling, snow, stars, motion graphics templates, HUD displays. Illuminati, yeah, Illuminati's great. Where is it? There it is. Illuminati's really trippy. If you let it like go. Oh, I don't have it long enough. There it is. Ah.
Yes. Okay, let's just let this roll and then put it back to the hip hop.
Yeah, show lo-fi studies.
Whoa!
You guys are on crazy stream. Yeah, no, so there's all kinds of crazy stuff with that. And another one that's really cool, and the good thing about Video Copilot, in my opinion, is a lot of their plugins are built to be easily understood and user interfaced. So it's not like this is super complicated. Like I just played with this for like an hour or two, and this is where I can kind of do. But I've used it on projects at this point, so I'm a little more familiar with it. Instead of particular, Red Giant has a whole bunch of really amazing stuff. Like next level, like they have a denoiser like that just removes grain that like will make you go crazy. It's wild. I'm trying to like move to tears. You guys ever see that? Like it removed the grain perfectly. Like there's none. Like afterwards, it was a film that had like 16 millimeter grain on. There's all these here. There it is. So all these, there's all kinds of them. Instant 4K, it's an interesting one. It makes everything 4K. Trying to think of anything that's worth showing. No, I don't even know what it does. I'm not kidding. It's like one of the best things I've ever seen. Like if someone could explain to me how this works.
Well, I mean, so it's taking HD footage and upping it to 4K.
It takes anything to anything. It's like watch. So if I take a clip and I go, let me just find something.
Yeah.
I'll grab a. Shoot. So here's a bunch of grain. This is from a film. I did like a teaser on social media and stuff. So I'll just apply the denoiser 3. And if I bump this guy up to like 80, like it just does an amazing job to take footage and make it look good again. Oh wait, sorry, yeah, geez. I meant to do this one. Yeah, so it literally just gets rid of grain in shots amazingly well. And then if for some reason I was working in an environment that is 4608 by 2592, so this is what I worked in for my film. So if I had footage that was only HD or I made to look like VHS, which obviously isn't going to be in 4K, I would deal with it like this just to scale it up with the instant 4K like that. And it just, so right now it's just fit to comp with, but you also have the presets and then just custom, which you can just do whatever you want if you just turn off the constrained proportions. So 4608 by 2592. So there you go. So it literally just takes it and makes it. I can't tell the difference between it, frankly, but it actually makes it 4K. So it does that. That was a cool one. And a free one. So the Red Giant ones that are not free, unfortunately, they're really expensive. But if you take, oh yeah, I'm sorry, I know I'm teasing you, but so if we go back to this, I want to show you Orb. So Video Copilot also made this plugin called Orb, which is like for making Earths and planets and really cool stuff. You ever checked that? Which one? Yeah, Orb's free and FX console is free. So those two, highly recommend. I'm not going to do it from scratch because it takes a long time, but instead I can show you. Yeah, Way Orb 2 or 3. Let's go 3. Let's go 3. Let's not save that one. So I'm making an Earth because so do you guys know Nick Sagan or Carl Sagan? So Nick Sagan is the son of Carl Sagan that works here, and we interviewed him, and we needed B-roll for him while he's talking. So I made like a bunch of solar system, sun, moon, Earth, just a bunch of shots using Orb with the intent of making it look like we're in space, kind of like how Cosmos does it. So this was just the Earth. So here's this. So what this is I'll just make it a completely new composition actually. So it's the same thing where I just have like a solid, so I just have like a background, and then I apply this thing called Orb, and it just gives us this like sphere, like the same thing if you did CC sphere, which is just another effect. It does almost the exact same thing, but this one is made to be for planets. So it's made through maps. So by going online, I found a bunch of different maps of all the planets, the moon, the Earth. So actually, NASA releases like huge project or yeah, it's in here. Yeah, black hole today. 6 trillion times bigger than the sun. That makes you uncomfortable. Yeah, they took a picture of a black hole. Yeah, you'd think it'd be high quality. It wasn't very good. Yeah, so I got all these off either NASA or like a website that was just giving them out for free, and it's literally just like huge maps. Like if you wrapped it around, what's the right term for this? What would this be when you take it to wrap around a circle?
Well, these are projected. Yeah,
okay, so it's a rectangular projection of the textures of whatever this stuff is. So what I did was I took it, brought it in, so like all these one by one, and then applied it through the diffuse, the glossy, all these things, and then it gave me what looked like pretty much that.
Are you aiming rotation on the Earth?
Yeah, so it's spinning.
And then the lights are going off and are coming on?
Yeah.
And how do you control that?
Yeah, so that I use the illumination aspect of the orb. So in addition to element, the stuff that you make in orb reacts to light. So there's a light in the scene right here, right up here, and that's how it's getting that shadow across it. And how it knows to put what's in the dark to be like look like there's lights on was I had a map that was designed or was taken of the Earth at night. So it's like this, and then by applying it over on the same image or over the same circle, I guess we have, and I did it through the illumination. Yeah, so illumination map. So basically, this one you can't really see. If you took it off, you'd see it, but it's going underneath, and then by adjusting in the illumination options here, you see I have the shadow light. Oh, excuse me. So I can change that value and how it reacts, and then the line that goes across. That's how that. So you can literally just kind of wipe it across and animate, and if you line it up how I have it with the hemisphere kind of thing, that's what so it looks good. And then from the Earth, we also have. I basically once I had the Earth, I just would duplicate it and then change the stuff about it. But as far as the settings, so cloud shadows was just another one that I just have the cloud layer on, and that gave me some like this, where I have. Oh, I'm sorry. So it's the cloud shadows. So I did clouds first, and I did the shadows underneath to kind of give them some depth. But it's just kind of a game of putting stuff on top. So haze is like just a little bit of a glow. Same thing here. I doubled it just to make it look glowing more. And the stars is the same thing as the Earth. So had I taken this and replaced this with stars, yeah, so here we go. So if I took you brought it in, same way we did with like the text layer, the 3D text. I go into my thing here, go into my diffuse, set my stuff to my star layer. I get stars, but stars are different than a planet because a planet is a circular object that we're looking at from the outside looking in. We want the stars to be almost like we're in it and we're looking out, and everywhere we look, we see the stars. So for starters, we don't want the front. We could have all, but we want the back. We want the inside of it. And then how we get in it is we have a camera and can move like this, and then now I can go inside of it, and we start to get that effect where we're like looking around seeing stars, and the way we correct these creases is by adjusting our scale of the actual maps. So in the UV, sorry, I'm blocking. In our UV here, instead of set to spherical, I could set to box, which means instead of wrapping that picture I just brought in around the circle, like you would for a planet, we'd want it to repeat and kind of be almost like tiled. And then with that, we then get to change the repeat, so make it feel a little bigger. So 4 and 4, and then we bump our feathering until 4 and 4 might be too much. Let's go 2. And then you start to feather it and try and find a good medium. Yeah, it's better than before. I have a different one for the other ones, but that's kind of how we got that star effect that looks really good here. And this is gonna be super slow, but I'm not gonna be able. Oh, there we go.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so the stars around, it's the same thing. I just used a couple images where I did like one with the Milky Way, one with just stars, one just black, and then I kind of composited those together into one image that worked. And then once you have it, you can just continually use it over and over again. So I used it once, and then the next thing was Nick Sagan's interview. They talked about the Voyager. No, but I can show you an export. I can show you an export of it instead. Let's try this one. In this one, I don't know. And I did them both ways just to make sure. Yeah, no, this was just a test, but
yeah, I was like, why is America falling apart?
yeah, no, it's just. But then I did stuff for the Voyager. So I found the Voyager. I just made the sun, every planet with the maps they had, and then I found a model of the Voyager guy. So I found it online. It's not broken up into a bunch of different objects, so I can only texture one. So that's kind of the downfall of this. But if I brought this into another software, I can cut it up and then bring it back in, then I would have my ability to cut this up and do it. But
that'd be quick. It's probably just three meshes anyways. And my just separate and then you just say it back out to DJ.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I remember watching a video. I just didn't want to do it for this, honestly. But so the idea was to make it look like Voyager. Well, originally it was Voyager. You can see the red dot going. It goes like up and out, sort of thing. But I ran into a lot of issues with this because you can't set it up like you would if you were just like, okay, if you're setting up like a model, like you would have, okay, I'm going to put all my planets in a line, like actually physically in a line. But because this is like this isn't true 3D, it's like faking 3D. So I couldn't necessarily just line them up. I had to scale them and position them based on an axis that was not corresponding to X, Y, and Z. So like X, Y, and Z isn't how it is in this because of the way that things move because of this whatever orb is doing. So it looks really weird if I like was at another angle. So like top. Let's see. That doesn't look good. I was hoping you could just like see what I meant, but I don't know. Either way, I got it to look how I wanted it to. So that was that. That was a combination of Element, Video Copilot's Orb, and Saber, actually. Which Saber is just this kind of glow around the sun. Just make a little fire glow and then just make it look like it's an orb. And that was Saturn's ring. And yeah, so I was starting to, you can kind of see what it looks like. Yeah.
I can hear it from here.
Oh yeah, my battery's very swollen, unfortunately.
It's like
But yeah, any questions or any? These are just kind of tools that like it's hard to think of reasons to use them until you have them. But like I've been on a lot of different projects where I'm like, oh, I could use a model of that and just simply animate it, and and then you could use tracking with what we talked about last time, and just parent the position of the null to the position of a tracker, and then you attach the 3D object, and that's how you start to make the composited shot at the end with all the tools that Video Copilot kind of has and others.
What's really cool about this is the fact that you can make some pretty dramatic changes on the fly and
Yeah.
render them relative real time in the interface, having to re-render stuff in multiple passes through the application rendering.
Yeah, it saves you a lot of time if you do it the hard way. But yeah, so this is intro to plugins and Video Copilot,
Show us
basically.
a list of plugins, Nico. It's
I have a lot.
honestly with plugins. It's impressive.
I mean, I have a decent amount. The ones that I got to get rid of FX Factory. They're terrible. They're like, I never paid for. Like, I'm not gonna buy them. So, yeah. I don't know. Honestly, I won't. Oops. There's honestly, I can show you my other plugins I'm big fans of. AE Corner Cutters, big fan.
Is that built into After Effects? Is that
Primat? No, it's external. It's Red Giant as well. Yeah. It's the keying software.
Yeah.
Primat's amazing in After Effects. Let me tell you, I'm a big fan of it.
That's one of my main reasons for the render farm initiative that I'm trying to get rolling here is for floating licenses, not only for the renderer but specifically for things like After Effects plugins that you can't afford to put on every machine in a lab. So having a few seats of those just floating around.
Yeah, Video Copilot honestly is very good about educational stuff. So if you haven't reached out anything, this one's pretty good. Corner cutters, it just saves you time, like a lot of things. So my favorite's tidy. If your project file is like ugly and you just have like everything not where it should be. So like you go in here, you go in here. Oh wait, that was wrong. You go in here. Yeah, so just let me make this uglier. Hold on, we'll go here. Ooh, that's good. All right, so if you're a savage like that, and you press tidy, then it gives you this option. Oh, I can make a folder for all this stuff. I can organize all this stuff. Okay, and bang, it just puts it all back where it needs to go into the folder that it belongs in. So it saves me a lot of time. Change the background color. So if if I want to change the background, nope, not that. To this, so quick change between them. A bunch of other ones I haven't really used. If you want to kill After Effects, you can push that. You can change your settings, create a null, create a camera, like just stuff that really saves you a lot of time for whatever reason. Yeah, that one's. I want to say that one's free. Corner cutters. I want there to be a Premiere one. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be a joke because my After Effects crashes every time I do it. Motion 2 I'm a big fan. I don't want to do it right now. Big fan of Motion 2. It's basically just like instead of doing F9 every time and making it feathered or easy ease, you can adjust. It adds the ability to make the amount of easy ease kind of an option here with this middle drag here. So if you just made something, yeah, instead of going in motion, or yes, exactly. So it makes it just a little bit faster. Oh my gosh, what are you doing? There we go. All right, so say we have a shape. I'm just doing my classic animation like we always do. Bang to bang. All right, so instead of going F9, which this is what this one looks like, F9, now we have that easy ease. Ooh. Wait, hold on.
That's a lot of ease.
Let's even make it prettier. So there you go. So there's easy ease. All right, that's way too slow. Oh my God, put me to sleep. Okay, so there's easy ease. Yeah, I just threw motion blur on it just to kind of help how it looks. So if I duplicate it again, duplicate it again, go to my position. Instead of having this, well, we can switch this back to this by pressing Command and clicking on a keyframe, if you know. I can select my keyframes and just change the amount of this, and you'll see as soon as I let go, it becomes easy ease, but it's like 7, 20, you know, I can change the amount of smoothness. So hopefully if this is, so you can see the difference between the two. So that's what we just created instead of this. So it just gives it a different look. It's hard to describe, but yeah, it looks cool. Looks like Pong trying to fight something. But yeah, so this all, and it's also just presets on like if you want to make something do the whatever. Mask interpretation.
Right? I think it's free.
Yeah, I think motion's free. I want to say. I can't really remember.
Is that a Mount Mograph plugin?
I want to say yeah. I have a bunch of plugins that I don't use, unfortunately. All these.
Just a few.
I like plugins. Jeez, judging me. So this one's cool. Geo layers. If you ever see one that make like the crazy Google Maps animations, this is how they do that. No, what? Geolayers? Oh, geolayers is really expensive. If you have like,
Yes.
yes,
Yeah, you did.
yes, I did.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, no, oh yeah, I paid for some of them definitely. I paid for Midas. That one I did. Midas. It's a this one's Mount Mograph. This is like the using this guy. Yeah. So I got this guy. This is very difficult to use, honestly. It took me a long time to understand it. I still don't really get it. That's why I don't use it.
Why that's the one.
Because I honestly it was supporting Mount Mograph. Like I watch his videos all the time. I don't really donate or anything, so I felt like, oh, I'll get this thing.
For tutorial websites. Like, I mean, that's how Video Copilot monetized.
Yeah, exactly. So this is service provider, nice. This is like the old format one. There's like GeoLayers 2 and 3 now. That's like super easy. You just like use like Google Earth. But this one's like the OG, where like you actually literally have a joystick here and get to click like this. So we're gonna go zoom in, and it's literally just like Yahoo Maps or something. But like if I go, oh no, it's Bing. Sorry, it's Bing.
Oh.
It's Bing. That's how old this is. But if I search Ithaca College, jump to, yeah, they definitely are. But the newer one's really nice. Like it has like texture built in and everything. But this one, I don't know what. Oh, it does work. Go. Oh, there it is. I had to click on Ithaca College. So here you go. So you hit it. So it like loads it, and then this is again like a really simple one.
Yeah, someone go outside and wave.
But this one, so I go create. I want to say, if you wanted to create a label, or if you wanted to map layer, if you want to like stick stuff to the map. So if I go pinpoint here, I go to my end here, and let's say someone give me a location in the world.
That's a lot of space.
Yeah, oh, it's beige.
It just has Sahara.
Wow.
Oh, it just goes. Okay. So then I'm going to set my next point right here with my this guy. And if I wanted to like adjust it, I can go in.
There's a language that Sahara means desert.
But this is like
Sahara.
this is like the watching paint dry to me. I hate this so much. You have to wait till it loads like the maps as it's referencing Bing. It's just like it's so annoying. I hated using this. I made like a zoom in, like someone had a drone shot and then like I composited the drone shot while it zoomed out and up and then so that was I believe me, that was an error. But it does. Oh, and then once you set it, well no, it creates something that's amazing. It's true, but this automatically does it. So once you just press that button, then it puts it all together for you and stitches the maps and gives you an actual. Now he gets it. So if you have a lot of time to wait for it to load, it'll do it. But eventually, you don't want to do that.
Wait, so this is the older GeoLayers?
Yeah. So the newer ones.
Wait a minute.
GeoLayers 2. It's only $200, guys. That's why I didn't buy it. It doesn't look as good as this. All right. Right? So this is like the next level of it where you can start doing more stuff with it. Boop! Like the CNN stuff and
It has an actual UI.
yeah, and it's like a lot nicer now. Like you don't even have to make your own graphics. Like it just if you press it, it'll make like, oh, this is Ithaca. Oh, all that stuff. Yeah, it does like crazy train. It's awesome. So that's that. But yeah, the next one, last one I'll show would be. Hey,
The future is expensive.
the Red Giant ones are way more expensive. Each of these is sold individually, so like they're not. Yeah, Universe is good. It's like a $99 I think for students a year. So, well, I mean they updated.
But I think they allow that. I don't think is it education only restriction.
No. It's.
So you can still use it if you're a student.
I mean, it's a simple Google search away. So let's just see. Universe. And also the other really good thing about Red Giant is they release all the tutorials for free, but their stuff just costs a lot of money. So yeah, I know. Universe is just like a huge pack of like all these assortments of.
Flashy, awesome tutorials. Awesome stuff.
I mean, they do. If you go to tutorials,
Sometimes plugins.
yeah. But some of these are actually good.
Yeah.
Yes.
141.
Some of these are like basically you could do them without Red Giant plugins. They sometimes will show you how to do it without it, but sometimes it obviously relies on it. Like here's oh wait, where'd the Black Panther one go? Ah, there it is. See? Yeah. Form ever. It's because you use trap code form to do it. Oh my God! See, that makes me so mad. Form's another one. This one's complicated, but this one's a similar idea. It's yeah. I mean, this one's really good for certain things, but I would never use it for a lot of things. But like, it has a lot of presets that you can like see. It's motion graphics. That's gonna take me some time. I mean, I could try. That's just a lot of listing. And my personal favorite color is the Magic Bullet Colorista. I only use Magic Bullet Colorista 4, okay? And I use it for... Hey, once you get into it, you're hooked, I promise. It was for sure. Oh. Yeah, I know. Why were you watching that, by the way? Oh, I didn't know. I've actually never even seen Manifest as like a show like that. When I heard he was like, "Oh, he's on it," I was like, "Oh, cool." I was like, "What is that?" No idea. This kid was in Chipped. He was on Manifest, that show. He's also on Broadway. What was I gonna hit? Oh, Colorista. Colorista. So this is just like a really simple. This is like coloring for like noobs, pretty much. It's like, oh, I have flat video. Oh, I should go right there. Okay. Oh, I can go like this. Okay. Oh, it's almost right there. Okay. Let's go a little contrast. It wants to be like the flattest, most saturated image you've ever seen. That's all. And then it's like, oh, you did it. You made it pretty. There it is. Yay. Yeah, I know. That's why you don't trust the settings. But like all of these, the color correction tools are really, really good in this, as far as like the control you have, compared to the default guys. But yeah, colorist is good. Film effects are cool. Looks, if you're too lazy to color. Yeah, it's in the. Yeah, the renoise. If you want to denoise and then renoise what you just denoised, you need the renoiser. So that's how they get you. This is like a bunch of looks. My favorite's cheekbones. It's just the name of it, honestly. Pistachio. But all of these, I mean, that looks pistachio-ish. But again, all of the trademark of it is like you can customize everything through. You got lens distortion, all this stuff. Yeah. I don't know what that does.
What's in the post?
The post tab?
Yeah, it's like camera, there's subject, matte, lens,
Oh, post. Post effects. So color correction and film print.
Okay.
If you want to embed like a color or a film aesthetic.
Done.
Yeah. No, it's seriously, and then you can do this stuff. Huge fan of color matcher. If you use 3D stuff, it's like just like a baseline effect that if you brought a 3D object in, it would match the scene. I don't have anything that could really. Which one? It's red. I think it comes with not the shooter suite, but the other one. And then the two really useful ones that come with it that are not integrated into the system are Pluralize and what is it? It's here. It's pluralize and offload. So these two come with it as like standalone programs. Offload is it's like a DIT thing. It's just like you upload and then it just automatically copies and backs up. It's pretty useful for dumping. And then pluralize is the other one that's. Pluralize is really wonky. It's not always good, but if you have audio to video that you need syncing, you put it in, it automatically lines everything up based on the waveform. So that's pretty scientific and stuff. But results may vary. I've had some issues with it. But I just wanted to show you. Yeah, it's built into Premiere as well, but it comes as a standalone for whatever reason sometimes. I wanted to just show. All right, this is going to look like a texture. Yeah. Let's go something a little prettier. Great. All right, so color matcher. I don't even know what it does, but it just matches color great. So I could, yeah. Well, kite's a little harder because it has like wind reactions, but if I modeled it, yeah, if I did it. So it doesn't do that much. It doesn't do this much, but like it does a great job of like updating live. So if I move it, I won't have to adjust again. So I just wish there was I wish this was faster. But so yeah. So if you get something, and then color match is just like a last thing I would throw on it, and then it helps to kind of just blend in perfectly. Not perfectly, but it gives me a good foundation to work from. Yeah, it gets me close. It gives me an estimated guess of where I need to be. The rest of these are kind of a lot, but we're good. Tau. Tau is no, Tau is. Yeah, Tau's crazy. It's like again another like path generator. So like you like pick what shape you want it to go in. Yeah, and then you can start to change.
Practical complexity, crank it up.
All right. It only goes up to 20. Like that's crazy. For what? Maybe. So the evolution is what you would change. You go. And then, what does Gridify do again? It like grids it? That's interesting.
Gratifies it.
Taper kind of makes it go off. So this is probably gonna look good. Yeah, it's perfect. Oh my god, it's perfect. It's exactly what it would look like.
Yes. Wild style.
And then
And there goes after.
Yeah,
All right, perfect.
wow, that was it.
Stop your
Yeah.